Okay, so we started discussing Oracle Fusion applications, 11th generation, and we also discussed what is an Oracle Fusion application, how the naming convention has been come up. So Oracle has acquired so many other companies, and it has integrated all the well-known applications in each of the ERP, and it is fused together, which forms as a Oracle Fusion applications as it has absorbed the gap in the market. So for to fulfill the gap, okay, so what is the gap that it has absorbed? So if any customer, any client, okay, if they want to implement the ERP, a good ERP in the market, so they don't find any such ERP which is having all the applications which are well versed and which is happily okay, used by well-versed application ERP, which contains all the modules. And so these by observing this gap, so Oracle has acquired each of the ERP and it is integrated each of the application to form one good ERP, such that so every client having a good destination for a good ERP. Okay. So that's where so it has acquired JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, Siebel, Hyperion, Primavera, and on a current date, there are few clients who use PeopleSoft as a separate ERP, and Siebel, JD Edwards, Hyperion, Primavera. Okay, so they'll also use us as a separate ERP, and those are under Oracle only. Okay, and if they want an integrated one, which they need to come to the Oracle Fusion applications. Okay, so we discussed that JD Edwards is well known for the order management. PeopleSoft human capital management. It is known for the human capital management. And Siebel, it is well known for the customer relationship management, CRM, and Oracle e-business suite. So which is an older version. So which is well known for the financial management and Oracle Hyperion. So Hyperion Financial Management, which is a financial tool. So because of Hyperion, so we have S-based database that we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. And then we have the Primavera, which is specially for the project portfolio management, which is project accounting. And here we have discussed okay, fusion applications which is integrated from different ERPs. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to discuss what is cloud computing. Can anyone tell me what is a cloud computing? Okay. So cloud computing is basically it. So based upon a remote server, okay, hosted and which is having the internet connection. So we can use a seamlessly. So that is a cloud computing, which is cloud computing is a delivery of computing service over the internet. So which is having so cloud is in the sense so which is having a different servers at a different clusters. So we discussed yesterday, right? So at a different clusters they'll be maintaining a big servers, okay, and those from those servers so we are going to access the whatever the data that we have stored or whatever the data that we want to retrieve. Okay, so likewise we will be having the access to the cloud server which is placed in a different clusters, okay, with the help of internet which is connected to that. Okay. So this is how the data center in the data center the okay. So the database. So each of them we have some TBs of data that can be have a capacity to store. So here this is how it looks like in a database center. So data is going to be stored. Okay, and this is the internet how it is going to be um, when there is any information that is going to be passed. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so coming to the Oracle Cloud. Okay, Oracle Cloud is a comprehensive suite of cloud services offered by Oracle Corporation that enables organization to run the applications, store the data, develop software, and manage business operations through the cloud. So here, so we have different, okay, so in this cloud, okay, which is provided by the Oracle, so they are offering different services, so which is called as a cloud infrastructure. So by integrating different applications as a one application, so which is the cloud infrastructure and Oracle Fusion Cloud Applications, which is a SaaS model. We are going to discuss what is a SaaS, okay, software as a service, and Oracle Automation, okay, database, okay. So here, and we also have the Oracle Analytics and Integrated Services. So we will be discussing all of this in the coming sessions anyways. So precisely any cloud applications, okay, any cloud applications, we are going to divide them into three parts. Okay. One is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Okay, SaaS means software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So apart from the Oracle, okay, in general, any cloud application, if you are using a cloud application, we have these three platforms. Okay, so any cloud application in the sense, so we also using the cloud applications, right? So we are storing our Gmail, okay, and we are using the Google Drive and Google Photos, right? So these are also comes under these three models only. Okay, so that is we called as a SaaS model. What we are using is a SaaS model. Okay, software as a service. So what exactly the software as a service? Okay, so when we are using the client using the software as a service, okay, that means everything will be managed by the service provider. Okay, so in case, so now we are using the Gmail or Google Drive or whatever it is. So now everything will be managed by the Google. So you just need to use the service. That's it, right? And then come to the platform as a service. So platform as a service in the sense, so you won't be, okay, so in this case, so basically software is going to be installed. Okay, software is going to be owned by you and all other things are going to be maintained by the, okay, service provider. Okay, and what all other things that are going to be maintained? So the middleware is going to be maintained and also storage is also going to be maintained by the service provider. Okay, so the only thing is, so the software that is going to be installed, so that is going to be maintained by you. So everything will be maintained by the service provider. Okay, so you in the sense organizations who is implementing the solution, who wants to implement the solution. Okay, and IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service is the best example is Amazon Web Services. So AWS. So these Amazon Web Services, okay, how they going to be used? So in this Amazon Web Services, So we just take a space in cloud. So as we purchase a land and construct the building, so in the same way, in the cloud, we will be purchasing certain space and we will be installing our own software. We'll be installing our own firewall. We will be installing our own middleware tools. Okay, and we will be using it, right? So that's where the infrastructure as a service works. Okay. And software as a service in the sense plug and play. So so the only constraint in this both software as a service and the platform as a service. So here we won't be able to do any major customizations. A minimal customizations can be done, but major customizations we cannot done in the SaaS form. So if you go to the PaaS form, so we can do the lot of customizations as per the client business. Okay, so that is the advantage and disadvantage. So as I discussed that, okay, so SaaS application, so everything will be owned by the service provider. So that might be, so we have outside, we have so many service providers. Okay, so who is providing the this cloud applications. So like Amazon Web Services and Amazon is providing the cloud services. Google is providing. Okay, and we also have the Microsoft and Oracle. So likewise, we have few of them so who provide the cloud services, and there are also some other providers are also there, but these are the major stake that we have in the market, so who provides this cloud services. So now in this case, so all the service providers are categorized in these three platforms. So here SaaS application in the sense, so application it will be provided by them, okay, and middleware and server. Everything will be managed by them. Okay, who is going to be provided? In our case, Oracle. So Oracle will provide the application, middleware, and server. Everything will be provided by the Oracle. You just need to take the subscription and you can use it. So as we use the Gmail or Drive, Google Drive or Google Photos, whatever it is, so we don't do customizations, right? So we just use it, okay, and we will be paid and we will be use it if we want to more storage. So Oracle uh, Gmail, there will be a limited storage, 15 GB that they are going to provide, right? So if you want to have more, then you need to pay. So here in the SaaS form, so likewise, so everything will be managed by the service provider. So here we need to take the subscription and then we need to use it. So in Oracle, the subscription model lies as per the agreement. So they will be giving the subscription as per the usage of users. Okay, user count based, and and also they will be charging based upon the roles that we provide. Okay, so that we are going to discuss in the coming session. So precisely. So now you need to understand that. So SaaS means everything will be managed by the service provider in Oracle. If you come to the Oracle, so Oracle, so we have SaaS and PaaS forms. So if the client is taking SaaS application, in the sense, everything will be managed by the Oracle. If the client is going for a PaaS form, okay, PaaS subscription, so application will be owned by them, okay, and that means they will be giving a provision to install the software, whatever it is, and middleware and servers are going to be maintained by the maintained by the vendor, okay, who provides the service, which is in our case it is Oracle, okay, and applications are going to be maintained by the client. So whatever the application that has been purchased. So why they will be going for a pass form? Because according to their business, okay, they want to do some sort of customizations. So if they want to do certain customizations, okay, they need to go to the pass form. So what happens if they go to the SaaS form and they want to do the customization? So most of the people I have discussed this. So Oracle every quarter, okay, it is going to release the new features, right? So now, if every quarter it is going to release the new features, so if you have done certain customizations within your application according to your business need, so if the new feature needs to come, so that won't be fetch. Why? Because you have done a lot of customizations, so that feature is not going to be fetched. Even though if you try to install that new feature, what happens? Other whatever customization that you have done, that might be tampered. Okay, so that is the reason. So here in the pass application, so the customization has been done for the application, so auto upgradation won't be happen. Okay, that is a disadvantage for the pass application. And in the SaaS, so auto upgradation will be happen every quarter. Okay, every quarterly updates are going to be applied on the SaaS form. Okay, so this is a major thing that we need to understand. And if you know the GE customer, okay, so that is a very, very big customer. So GE customer, you go for the pass. Okay, they have a lot of customizations, and some of the banking sector and some of the, you know, pharma sector. Okay, so those sectors, some clients, okay, they go for the pass application, and here we have the data security as well. Okay, so based upon those reasons, they'll be going for the pass form. Okay, so infrastructure as a service. So as we have taken the example of Amazon Web Services, they only give the space, okay, within their server. So as you purchase a land, so they'll be giving a space in the cloud, and you need to construct like whatever the application that we want and whatever the middleware tool that we want. So we need to install it and we can use it. Okay. But SaaS, it is a plug and play. And PaaS, which we do customization for the application, and middleware and server are going to be maintained by the provider. Okay, so here you can see infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So everything will be managed by the vendor, okay, who provides the services. So you, in the sense, the client manages. Okay, so in the case of, okay, platform as a service, applications and the data is managed by the, okay, client, and other things are going to be managed by the vendor. Okay, infrastructure as a service, so everything, most of them will be managed by the client, and storage, okay, the space and virtualization and network server, everything will be managed by the vendor. And on-premise we discussed in the last session. So if any client, okay, if they want to have their own database, okay, their own server. So in the very beginning, before the cloud services, so they used to maintain the on-premise. So on-premise in the sense, so they will be, everything will be managed by the client. Okay, they'll be licensing by the, they'll take the license, whatever the application that they are using, and they'll be installing in their own servers and they'll be using it. Okay. So in older version, what happens? So we need to have in our laptops, we need to have a two 250 GB space, and we used to install it, and we used to, okay, work on that. Okay, for the practice purpose when we are learning. Okay, so likewise, so on-premise in the sense they need to maintain their own servers and they need to use it. But now when we are using this current cloud version, so we no need to have any space or anything. So just we need to have a laptop with a minimal configuration is fine. So we can use it through the web link. So that means we are using the cloud, okay, cloud server by using access to the cloud server with the internet, and we can use the application. So that is how they made that easy. Okay, so that is the advantage of cloud. Okay, so now these three platforms comes under the cloud. So any doubts here, please let me know before moving to the next topic. Okay. Okay, so now on-premise versus cloud. Okay, so we are going to discuss. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of having on-premises versus cloud? So first of all, we need to understand what is on-premises. So what is meant by premises? Can anyone tell me what is meant by premises?
Where company is located or company address. In the same company, we have our data center server.
Right. And what is cloud? Okay. So premises in the sense like let's say if we have constructed a house and around our house, so we will be constructing our wall, right? So within that wall, so whatever the land, open land or constructed a building, so whatever it is, so everything we will be called as a premises. So in the same way, okay, in offices, so we have our premises. So in within our premises, if we are maintaining our data center, data servers, okay, so that is what we called as a on-premise. So this on-premise versus cloud we just discussed, right? So a remote server which is operated and remotely with having a internet access. So that is what we called as a cloud servers. Okay. So now what are the advantages and disadvantages? So the more advantages is towards the cloud, so which is a lower cost, which is a capex will be less. Capex in the sense capital expenditure will be very low as part of the cloud basis, and backup and a recovery will be there. So disaster management, basically what happens. So if you are maintaining your server, okay, your own server at your premises, okay, so unfortunately, if there are any natural calamity occurs, so the building collapse, let's say, so everything the data will be collapsed, right? We will be lost every data. So to avoid such things, okay, so if you have go to the cloud application, so even though one cluster, one server is damaged, so that same okay data is shared by the different clusters as we discussed yesterday, right? So when this each data center shares the data between them, so that's where the other backup will be available to retrieve the data. Okay, so that's where this cloud applications will be effectively works. And then we have the security compliance. So say coming to the security compliance, so basically here the only advantage that we can see in the on-premise is security. Okay, security in the sense so data will be with us. Okay, so there won't be any data leakage. But here, so the data leakage might be happen. Why? Because the data center, everything will be managed by the service provider. But security compliances we can meet. So what is meant by security compliance? Security compliance is nothing but so there will be certain security compliances for a country specific. So they need to maintain the data integrity. So with the local authorities. So to have a trust. So So sometimes what happen, you might be also seen that, so the data leakages, right? So that will impact to the local government as well. So that's where government will also ensure that, so are these organizations are maintaining the data security as well, data compliances. So that's where the security compliance comes into picture. Okay. So we just need to rely on them. So who are providing the cloud servers. So that's where the cloud application, so versus on-premise. Okay. So most advantages are towards the cloud applications. So without lag, so wherever they have the businesses, so the client, their employees who are sitting in different countries, they can access the with the data without any lag. But when come to the on-premise, so there might be seeing some ton lag in accessing the data because of a distance. And also here when there is any natural calamity occurs, so data will be lost. And here we have the backup. And here in the cloud, we have a low hardware cost, which is that means it is minimal. I can say it is not at all a cost. Why? Because everything will be managed by the cloud provider, whoever it is. So the provider will be born. Okay, and here, so the capex capital expenditure will be more because we need to maintain the servers. We need to also have the power backup. We also need to maintain, we also need to have the DBS, database administrators. So always database administrators, they need to maintain the servers up, and running such that there is no data lag. Okay, so that's where all the huge cost is going to be borne by the okay who are maintaining the servers on-premise. Okay, so and that's where it comes a high maintenance cost as well. So the only advantage that we can see on-premise is so our own data will be there with us. That is the only thing. Okay, but in cloud, so some other day, what happens if there is any war declared? Okay, and they might be using those data, but most of the times, so local authorities will take care. We need to rely. That's it. So business will run on a trust basis. So just we need to trust and use it. That's it. Okay. So that is all about the cloud versus on-premise. So any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, so from here, guys, we have three slides. Okay, so these are the three slides that we have. Okay, so if you are unable to understand this, just leave it. Okay, don't bother about these. So these three slides we have prepared because so in early when we have the Oracle Cloud comes into existence, most of the interview questions and most of the uh, real-time working employees who are working on older version, so they also want to learn the Fusion, right? So now when they are also migrating, so we have prepared these three slides. Okay, so these three slides majorly talks about okay about the older version and the new version. Okay, so if you are unable to understand, okay, that is absolutely fine. Don't worry. Okay, so when you will be able to understand these three slides, so when we are completing almost end of the sessions, you'll be able to understand these three slides. You can get the familiarity. So most of the interview questions are going to be asked. So that's where we have prepared these three. And some of the real-time working employees are going to be join the sessions. So for them, we have prepared this. So just listen. Okay, that's it. Okay, so technology changes from older version EBS to Fusion. So what all the technology changes? So here we have server. So in older version, okay, we used to maintain the Oracle app server. Okay, that is what we called as, okay. And in the Fusion application, we discussed, right? So through the web server, okay, web logic, okay, we will be using and we'll be accessing the data. Okay, so that is where Oracle Web Logic comes into picture. Okay, but previously we used to have the Oracle App Server. Okay, that is what we used to call. Okay, and a GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, so here we discussed, right, Java forms. Okay, they used to maintain at the Java forms, and here ADF pages or HTML pages. Okay, we are using. So that is the a difference of graphical user interface in terms of EBS and the Fusion applications. And then reports. So reports in the sense, so by consolidating all the transactional information, so end of the day, we need to extract them into a report. Okay. So those reports, okay, in the EBS, we are going to extract in the XML publishers, and here in the future we have the BI publisher, okay, business intelligence publisher. So that's where we used to extract the data, okay, by using the BI publisher. In the older version, in the EBS, we used to have the XML publisher. And if you want to do certain analysis, okay, if you want to use, so we will be using the discoverer in the EBS, and in the Oracle in the cloud, we will be using the OTBA, Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. So this is the OTBA that we will be using it. Okay, so we will be using this OTBA on basis of okay, um, there is another database. Basically, here Oracle used to have Oracle database, but here we have the S-based database. Okay, we'll discuss that. Coming to the functional changes from EBS to Fusion. So axis related. Okay, in any organization, so if you want to have access, okay, based upon the your designation. Okay, so if you are a supervisor, you have certain access. If you are end user, you are working on accounts payable or any particular module, you will be having certain access. Likewise, okay, based upon their roles, okay, they will be having certain access, and certain people having only certain accesses by provisioning the responsibilities. Okay, there are responsibilities. So by provisioning certain responsibilities according to their designation, so for the employees in the EBS, we used to provision the responsibilities. And coming to the fusion, we call them as a roles. So by provisioning certain roles, we will be giving the access to certain areas. Okay. And this is the access. Okay. To whom we are giving access? We are giving access to the employees of your organization. And they need to have, according to their designation and skill set, they need to have access to certain areas. So those accesses can be provisioned by the responsibilities in the EBS, and in the fusion by provisioning the roles, we will be giving the access to certain areas. Okay. So this we will discuss in the coming session or today coming session. And then we have the approvals. So in any organization, okay, we have approvals, right? So if it is a minimal, okay, amount, okay, that can be, okay, created directly. If it is having certain, okay, larger amounts, okay, that need to go through the approval process according to the designation. Okay. So a first end user will create a invoice and it will go to the supervisor, and from the supervisor it will go to the manager, from manager to senior manager. Likewise, there will be certain hierarchy. Okay. So those hierarchy approvals, okay, the invoice need to be routed. So for that, we used to have the AMA. Okay. So approval management engine. So in the approval management engine, so we used to establish those whatever the hierarchies. Okay, will be maintaining them. And in the Fusion, we will be maintaining the BPM, Business Process Management, or BPL, Business Process Execution Language. So in this, we used to maintain the hierarchies, which is workflows. Okay, we call it as. So approvals are maintained in this, in the BPM, okay, in the current cloud. Okay, so now coming to the data migration. So data migration is nothing but, so now if we are using a good, if you want to use a good ERP, okay, let's say currently you are using a Tally and now you are using the Oracle application. So now when you are using the Oracle application, so whatever the data that is there in the Tally, okay, that you need to migrate from Tally to the Oracle application. That we call it as a data migration. Okay, we are migrating. What we are migrating? We are migrating the data. We have different type of data, setup data, master data, and transactional data. So whatever it is, okay, if you want to do the migration, okay, we use the process called conversions in the EBS, and here in the Fusion, we use the, okay, FBDA, okay, file-based data, okay, import. So by using this FBDA templates, we'll be migrating the data from one application, one legacy application to the current application. Okay, and setups and configurations. So in the older version, if you want to do the setups, okay, or configurations, so we need to navigate to each specific application to perform specific setups. But in the Oracle Cloud, so we have a common area which is called as a FSM, okay, Functional Setup Manager. So where we can navigate and we can perform the setups for all the applications. It is a common area. Okay. So these are the changes in relation to functional changes in relation to the EBS and Fusion. So coming to the application changes. So here we have applications. We used to call them in the EBS as a financials. So here also financial, there is no change. So in the EBS, we used to call it HRMS. Okay, but here we used to call the HCM. Okay, so human resource management services. So here we have the human capital management. Okay, and here we have the projects, and here we have the PPM, project portfolio management. Okay, and in the EBS, we used to have only one database, which is Oracle database. But in the Fusion, so I was discussing about S-based, right? So here in the Fusion, we have two database. One is Oracle database and the other one is S-based database. So what is S-based database? S-based database is nothing but enterprise scheduling services database. Okay. So what is the advantage of this S-based database? So now what we discussed about Oracle database. So how the data is going to be stored? So data is going to be stored in the tables. So within the tables, the data is going to be stored with the help of SQL. So now whatever the data that is going to be stored, that is nothing but the 2D form. Okay. And here in the S-based database, the data is going to be stored in the cube form. Okay. So three-dimensional cubes, okay, the data is going to be stored. So that's where, okay, we have two database, okay, Oracle database and S-based database. So the major advantage of storing the data in S-based database is to just drag and drop certain fields to get the desired output. Okay, but if the data is in Oracle database, what happened? We need to write a select statement. Okay, select a query statement that we need to write. So then only we can fetch the data. But in the S-based database, okay, if the data is going to be maintained in the S-based database, you just drag and drop certain fields to get the desired output. Okay, So we are going to see anyways, or we are going to cover everything, whatever we are discussing. Okay, at this moment you might not be able to understand, just leave it. No worries. Okay. And system administrator. So we used to call as a system administrator in the EBS. In the current application, we are calling it as a Fusion application. We are calling it as a security console. So in fact, this has been changed. Okay, so this has been changed. So previously, when they released early stages, so cloud application, they used to have the Oracle Identity Manager and Authorization Policy Manager. Now this is changed to the Security Console. Okay. Okay. So Oracle Fusion Finance course content. So what all the things that we are going to learn in the coming session. So Oracle Fusion General Ledger, Oracle Fusion Cloud Accounts Payable, Oracle Fusion Accounts Receivable, Oracle Fusion Fixed Assets, Oracle Fusion Cash Management. So these are the precise five modules that we are going to discuss as part of our syllabus. And if time permits, and we'll also discuss other modules. Okay. So these are also okay, which is integrated to the current applications. So if time permits, we'll also discuss these other modules. Okay, so that is all about today's session. So any doubts in the previous sessions, please let me know.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, please.
Uh, how to get download this application, sir, in our system?
Yeah, one second. Let me stop the recording.